Thank you. Good morning, grade 5. Today, inshallah, we will take lesson 7, page 941, three-dimensional figures. Three-dimensional figures. So prepare your books on lesson 7, page 941, three-dimensional figures, okay? Now, in three-dimensional figures, guys, we will know what's the three-dimensional figure. But before that, what we took in the previous lessons. In the previous lessons, guys, we took polygons, right? Polygons. We took triangles. And yesterday we took quadrilaterals. Quadrilaterals. Okay? Now, polygons, we have a lot of polygons: pentagon, hexagon, square, rectangle, any polygon, closed figure made of line segments that do not intersect each other. Triangles, we took classifications of triangles: isosceles, equilateral, scalene, acute, right, obtuse triangles. In quadrilaterals, we took also classification, parallelograms like rectangles, squares, rhombuses, and trapezoids. All of these figures, guys, all of them, we call them two-dimensional figure. Two-dimensional figure. But here we have a three-dimensional figure. What's the difference between two-dimensional figure and the three-dimensional figure? Two-dimensional figure, to understand it very well, let's take from the polygons one example, like the rectangle. We know the rectangle, right? The rectangle. Yesterday, we said that the rectangle is a parallelogram with four right angles, right? Each opposite sides parallel and congruent. Now the rectangle has two dimensions: length and width. So this is why we tell, or we call these polygons here two-dimensional figures. Like the rectangle, it has length and width. Like the triangle, it has base and height. Okay, so each figure has two dimensions. We call it rectangle. No, we call it two-dimensional figure. But our lesson here is three-dimensional figures. Three-dimensional figures. What is the three-dimensional figure? Now, all of you, I think now you are sitting inside a room, right? Inside a room. Like this room, guys. Focus here, please. This room is a three-dimensional figure. Down this line, we call it length of this room. This line here, we call it width of this room. And this line here, we call it height of this room. So we have three dimensions: length, width, and height. At this case, this room here, we call it three-dimensional figure. Three-dimensional figure. Like the box, any box, guys. Any box. And look at the board. This box has three dimensions. It has length, it has width, and it has height. That's why we call it a three-dimensional figure. In other words, what is the three-dimensional figure? It is a figure that we can put things inside it. It is a figure that we can put things inside it, like the bottle of water. This bottle of water, we can put water inside it, so we call it three-dimensional figure. Like this room here, we can put desks, we can put chairs, we can put boards, we can put AC, we can put a lot of things inside this room, so we call it three-dimensional figure. So any figure, we can put things inside it similar to these things. We call it three-dimensional figure. But can we put things inside the rectangle? No. If you put water here, it will slip out. There is no space inside it, right? But here, inside this box, we can. So we call this three-dimensional figure, okay? Three-dimensional figure. Now, let's go to our book here. And let's talk about some of the three-dimensional figures. We will use the book, guys. It's very important because it has figures and names and a lot of things. So go to your book, page 941. Do not look to my camera. Sometimes it won't be clear. So please, guys, focus on your book and try to listen to me. Now, look here up. A three-dimensional figure has length, width, and what? Height. Length, width, and height. To understand it very well, look at your room now. The room which you are sit inside it. We have length, width, and what? Height. Length, width, height. This we call it three-dimensional figure. Okay? Now look at this room or this box here. This box has parts. Let's know the parts together. I'm talking about this one. These lines, guys, we call them edges. This line, we call it edge. Edge. The D is light. Edge, edge. D is light. So we have edges. Each line, we call it edge, okay? But these points here, focus, guys. These points, we call them vertices. Vertices. So this line, the singular one, we call it vertex. But the plural of them, we call them vertices, not vertexes, vertices. Vertices means more than one vertex, okay? Like man, men, huh? But, so, edge, any line we call it edge, okay? And any point we call it vertex. But, this rectangle here, and this rectangle, and this rectangle, we call them face. 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 Like this room, guys, how many faces it has? This room, how many faces it has? It has the roof, the floor, and 4 faces around, right? So it has 6 faces. The roof, the floor, and 4 faces around. So the line, we call it edge. The point, we call it vertex. And the rectangle, we call it face. Face, okay? So here we have face, we have edge, and we have vertex. The parts of the solid figure, three-dimensional for sure. Okay, guys? Let's now fill these numbers here. Describe the faces, edges, and vertices of the figure outlined on the luggage bag here. This bag, it's similar to the room or the box. So how many faces it has, how many edges it has, how many vertices it has, okay? Now this one is the same of the box which I graph on the board here, which I already graphed it. But how many faces we have, guys? We have 6 faces, the roof, the floor, and 4 sides around. So we have how many faces? 6 faces. But how many edges we have? Let's count them. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 edges. But how many vertices we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 6 faces, 12 edges, and 8 vertices. Let's fill them. Here, faces, the figure has 6 faces. The figure has 12 edges. The figure has 8 vertices. Okay, guys? Now, let's read something here. It's very important. Prisms are a three-dimensional figure. A prism has at least 3 faces that are rectangles. The top and bottom of the faces are called bases. So here we have this face up and this face down, the bottom. This is the bottom, means the floor. And up, we call it top. We call them bases. And they are congruent, means in this room, the roof and the bottom, the floor, should be congruent, get بعض. Bases, okay? But what we call this, we call it rectangular focus. Rectangular prism. The box or the room which is inside it now, we call it rectangular prism. Why? Because the bases are rectangles and the sides are rectangles also. Rectangular prism. Now we have another type of a prism. We call it triangular prism. Triangular prism. Triangular prism. And it's graphed more clear in your book. See this one? In the second page here. This we call it triangular prism. This we call it rectangular prism. But why we call this triangular? Because the bases up and down are triangles. And the faces around are rectangles. So if the bases are triangles, we call it triangular prism. If the faces or if the bases are rectangles, we call it rectangular prism. Okay. The last one is the cube. Cube. The cube is similar or same of rectangular prism, but all the sides are equal. Means here we call it rectangular prism. The length is bigger than the width and they are different from the height. See? But if we have the 3 sides equal, the length equal to the width, equal to the height, all the sides are equal, we call it cube. And here the triangular prism, if we have 2 rectangles up and down with the 3 triangles between them, we call it triangular prism. So we have rectangular prism, triangular prism, and a cube. A cube is a special case of the rectangular prism. What's the difference? Here we have different values, length, width, height. But here, the length and the width and the height are the same. The triangular prism different. Up and down, we have triangles. Here, up and down, we have rectangles. These are the prisms which you need to know. These are the prisms which you need to know. Let's do example or guided practice 1 together. Yes, Faisal. Faisal. فيصل again. وين رحت يا فيصل؟ طب كنان بركات.
Yes, Mr.
يلا يا كنان. Do you understand the ideas which I talked about there?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's read together, guys, and we'll solve this guided practice together. And please, guys, you need this figure to answer. So focus in your book while you are answering the question. Don't just write the numbers. Focus in your book what we are doing on this prism. Read يا ابني. Describe.
Describe the faces, edges, and vertices.
Vertices. Wait يا ابني. Wait. Not edges. Okay? Edge. The D is light. Edge. Okay? Not vertices. Vertices. يلا read again.
Describe the faces, edges, and vertices of the three-dimensional figure. Then
Identify it means name it. Give it a name. First, let's talk about the faces, yeah, Kinan. How many faces we have here?
5.
Do you know? 5 faces. Mumtaz. It's something like this. We have the triangle up, the triangle down, and the 3 faces around. So how many faces we have here? 5 faces. But in the rectangular prism, how many faces we have? We have up and down and 4 around, which is 6 faces. Here we have up and down and the 3 around, which is 5 faces. So we have how many faces?
5.
Yeah, faces. The figure has 5 what?
Faces.
احكي يا ابني. Faces. The bases are what? Triangles or rectangles?
Triangles.
Up and down. Triangles. So we write a triangular, guys. The triangular bases are congruent and parallel. The other faces are شو بيكونوا؟ هلا up and down sorry, up and down are triangles. طب the around faces, what are they? What's this face here to the right? What we call it? Rectangle. So these are the faces. So the figure has 5 faces. The triangular bases are congruent and parallel. The other faces are rectangles. Up and down, guys, the bases are triangles and the other faces around rectangles. Okay, but the edge, thank you, Kinan. Do you understand it?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take another student to do with me the edge. Abdullah.
Yes, Mr.
Abdullah. Yalla ya Abdullah, read.
Okay. There are edges.
How many edges? How many? What's the edge, Abdullah? Do you know what's the edge?
The lines.
The lines. How many line segments here? Can you count them?
8.
Let's count together. We have 1, 2, 3 down and 1, 2, 3 up, right?
Yes.
4, 5, 6. So we have 6, but we have 3 others are in the behind. So it will be how much? 9 edges. Okay? 9 edges.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 down, 3 up, and the 3 around, right? So how many edges we have?
9.
9 edges. Got it? Type.
Okay.
Continue. The edge that continue.
That form the vertical sides of the rectangular are parallel and
of the rectangles.
Congruent.
And congruent. In the rectangles, the lines or the sides are parallel and what? Congruent, right? So yes. 9 and congruent is the second answer. Let's talk about the vertices now with Ahmed.
Yes, Mr.
Yalla ya Ahmed. The vertices. The figure has How many vertices we have? Mumtaz. Let's count them. We have a 3 up, 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 vertices. And the vertex, we said it is the point. The edge, it is the lines. Here we have 3 vertices up, 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 6 vertices. So for the triangular prism, guys, how many faces we have? We have 5 faces. We have 9 edges. And we have 6 vertices. Vertices. Okay? For the triangular prism. Now, what we call it, yeah? What we call this figure, yeah, Ahmad?
Triangular
Ahmad.
prism.
Triangular prism.
Yeah, Mr.
Triangular prism. Okay, guys? Triangular prism. Copy. Please copy the answers. Good. Now, let's go to the other page, اللي هو page 943 together. With Ghassan. يلا ريدي Ghassan.
Yes, Mr. Describe the faces, edges, and
vertices of each three-dimensional figure.
then
Identify it. يلا. Question 2. See it?
Yeah.
How many faces we have?
Up and down. Yeah, 6.
6. How many edges we have?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No.
12.
12. How many vertices we have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. So, in question 2, guys, what we will write? So, we are which page? Yeah. What's your name?
943.
943. Yalla ya Ghassan. In question 2, how many faces? What we'll write, guys? We have this thing, right? This prism.
You.
Yalla, down. How many faces we have? We said 6 faces, right?
Yeah.
And how many edges we have? 12 edges. How many vertices we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8 vertices.
Yeah.
What we call it? What we call it? What's the name of it?
Cube.
Cube. Why cube, guys? Because the sides are equal. All of them are equal. So this one, we call it cube. You need to write all of these informations under the prism in question 2, guys. 6 faces, 12 edges, 8 vertices, and we call it cube.
Cube. Mute
This is a question 2. Yes. Let's do question 3 now. Question 3. Copy, guys. Copy. Don't leave spaces. Question 3. Abdullah.
Yes, Mister.
Abdullah. Yalla.
Yes.
How many, question 3, how many faces we have?
5.
5 faces. How many edges we have?
9.
9. How many vertices we have?
6.
Mumtaz. What we call this prism?
Triangular prism.
Mumtaz. Triangular prism. So question 3, guys, under the figure, what you will write? How many faces we have? 5 faces. And how many edges? 9 edges, right?
Yes.
And how many vertices we have? 6 vertices, right?
Yes.
And because up and down we have triangles, what we call it? Triangular
Prism.
prism. Triangular prism. This is question 3. Question 4. Question 4. Ziyad Rida.
Yeah, Mister.
Yalla ya Ziyad. Question 4. Yalla.
Question
How many
4.
faces we have?
5.
How many edges we have?
We have 9.
How many vertices we have?
6.
So what we call it?
Triangular prism.
Mumtaz. It is the same of a tree, but with different shape or form, sorry. So we have 5 faces, 9 edges, 6 vertices, and we call it triangular
prism.
prism. Copy, guys. Copy. I will ask you in the final test. Question 5. Question 5. Hamad. Hamad.
Yes, Mister.
Yalla. Question 5. How many faces we have?
Question 5.
Uh,
Question 5, we have 4.
No, it is wrong.
5.
It is wrong, Yabni. It is wrong. The room which you are inside it now, how many faces it has?
6.
6 faces. We have up and down and 4 faces around. So 6 faces. How many edges we have?
It's
12 edges. It's rectangular prism, Yabni. 12 edges. How many vertices we have? How many, Yabni? 8. Malak. Look at the board. This one. How many faces it has? 1, 2,
6.
and 4 around. 6. How many edges? Count the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Down 9, 10, 11, 12. How many vertices we have? Count the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got it?
Get
So
it.
question 5, we have 6 faces, 12 edges, 8 vertices. What we call it, yeah, Mr. راح. Omar, what we call it?
Yes, triangular prism.
Triangular.
No, cube.
هو فيه triangles يا ابني هاد؟ فيه triangles؟ هذا فيه triangles؟
No.
Hello, I'm asking you يا ابني,
Yes,
answer with me. This has triangles?
No.
يا ابني, I'm asking you, tell me yes or no. الله يسعدك.
No.
This figure has triangles?
No.
ولك احكي.
No.
This figure has it? No, it has no triangles. So, can we say triangular? No, it has no triangles. What we call it?
Cube.
No, it is not a cube. A cube means the edges are equal. Like this one. The lines are equal. Here the lines are equal, congruent. Is this line equal to this line?
A triangular
No.
prism.
So it is not the cube, Yabni. It is what?
Triangular prism.
Look at the cube and look here, Yabni. Look here. See them?
Yes, yes.
هذا ايش اسمه؟ ايش اسمه هذا؟
Cube.
ليش كيوب؟
Because it's have unequal lengths.
The sides are congruent. Here the sides are congruent?
No.
No. So what we call it?
Triangular prism.
Rectangular يا ابني، ما في triangles.
Yes.
يا حبيبي في triangles هون في triangles. جاوبني، في triangles. انت شايف triangle هون؟ Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes.
يا ابني بحكي معك، ليش تعمل ميوت؟ Here, is there any triangles?
No.
So we don't say triangular prism. We say what?
Rectangular prism.
Rectangular prism. Good. So question 6, guys. Sorry, question 5. We call it rectangular prism, not a triangular. Now, are you with me, Omar?
Yes, yes.
Look at the question 4 before it. See question 4 in your book?
Yes.
What we have in the question 4, up and down, what we have?
Faces.
Mashi, what we have? Rectangles or triangles?
Triangles.
Triangles. That's why here we call it what? Triangular prism. But here, up and down are rectangles, so we call it rectangular prism. When we call it a cube, if the sides are
Equal.
congruent, قد بعض. عرفت؟
Yes.
عشان ما تخربط. You understand it now?
Yes.
Goodbye. This is question 5. Question 6 and 7 هحلهم على السريع because I'm running of time. يلا. Question 6. We have building. Look at the building, guys. Inside these red lines. It is rectangular prism. In your book, guys, see it in your book. So, how many faces we have? We have 6 faces. We have 12 edges. We have 8 vertices. We call it rectangular prism. This is a question 6. Question 7. The tent, like the tent, you know the tent, guys? This is triangular prism. It has 5 faces. Question 7. 5 faces. 9 edges. 6 vertices. And what we call it? Triangular prism. Copy the questions, guys. So we are done with this page, okay? Now you need to do your homework for sure and try to send it on my Placera during the night. And that's all for today, guys. Hope you understand it very well. Try to watch the video again. Stick with the figures, guys. The figure, it's important to understand it, the solid figure. It's important, okay? Stick it, see the video again, and try to copy these exercises. I will send it to your inbox after a while. Thank you so much and have a good day. If you have any questions, you can ask me tomorrow, inshallah. Goodbye.